What is going on, Digidestined? It is your boy Shrek back with a brand new video today. Today we're going to go over my deck profile of Hexablaumon that get 54th place in the Europe Championship 2021 finals. The deck performed a lot better than I expected. I went 6-2. The matchups I was against was round 1, Security Control. We won 2-1. Round 2 was against Gabby Bonds. Actually, unfortunately, disconnected, which was a big which did not help at all. So we lost that one, unfortunately. Going into round 3 was another Security Control. We 2-0'd the Security Control player. Going into round 4 was 3 Muskets, and I do not think this deck does very well against 3 Muskets. It's probably one of the hardest matchups for this deck, because they're able to just reoccur their options that kill shit. So this is not the best matchup for it. So we did lose. I think it was either 2-0 or 2-1. I cannot remember for the life of me. Try to black that out, you know. And then I went up against round 5. We went up against Bonds. So we 2-1 the Bond player. Round 6 we went up against another Bond, which we 2-0'd. Then round 7 we went against another Bond player, which we 2-1'd, and then we went up against a Jesmon player on the last round in round 8, which was, I think I just got that right, maybe I got it wrong, who knows, but I went up against the Jesmon player and won. So we went 6-2. Just unfortunate that I disconnected, because I do believe that I might have been able to take the win with in round 2, but that stuff happens. My internet just went bleh. So yeah, so let's get into the deck profile. So we'll start off with the eggs. So we of course play 4 of the Oppamons, just generic best egg you can have, and especially in this deck. When attacking once per turn, inheritable when attacking once per turn. If your opponent doesn't have has a Digimon with no Digisource in it, you get to draw a card. So it's just really, really good, because this deck does like to see its resources. And then the last card I'm playing is 1 Wanyamon. The reason I play this is just because I want that extra power on on my Azulomon swings, just because sometimes Azulomon does die due to power, and I would like to just try and eliminate as much as possible with that happening. So we play the 1-of, and it is where your opponent has 2 or more Digimon with no Digi-Evolution cards in play. This gains 2k. So it's just, I like the card. It worked out many times for me during the tournament. I actually think that this 1-of won me the game more than Oppamon won me the game, kind of thing. Anyway, we'll go into our level 7s, and this is quite funny because we play 1 Omnimon Blitz and 1 Gabibond. The reason I play a Gabibond is genuinely because I couldn't find my second one of Omnimon Blitz, but this came up against a Bond player, where I was able to get, because of the way that it worked, with Majirimon, I was able to get 3 attacks off, and it was able to clutch me the game, because we went Hexablau attacked, Majirimon unsuspended it, he had 1 blocker on the field, and then we went into Bond. Bond swung and spun his only blocker back to the deck and was able to win because of that. Would I change it? Probably, yeah, I'd probably go 2 Omnimons, but at the same time this did come in clutch, so it's up to you whether you want to or not. So this Omnimon, when Digivolving, it gains Blitz, and when Digivolving you unsuspend the Digimon, and during all your turns, if an opponent's effect would delete this Digimon or return it to the owner's hand or deck, you can prevent it by putting, is it trashing? Yeah, trashing a level 6 in your Digisource. And this one, I feel like everybody would know what this card does, but anyway, when attacking once per turn, if you have a Tamer in play, you can unsuspend this Digimon, and when attacking, return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the bottom of the deck and trash all the Digisources among them. So it's a fun interaction. fun game in it. Moving on to level 6s, we play 4 of the best boy, Hexablaumon, and we play 3 Hexablaumon. We only play 7 level 6s because there's not really much room, in my opinion, in this deck. So trying to kind of like find another spot for Hexablaumon, I just prefer the 3 because then I would end up bricking most of the time when I did have 4-4. When I was playing 4-3, I seen this when I needed it. I didn't have a problem. 9 times out of 10 you want this, unless you're against those games where you have to swing at security as fast as possible, which is where Hexablaumon, or they go wide or something. That's where this kind of chimes in brilliantly. So we'll go over Hexablaum's effect. So Hexablaum is, when attacking, trash up to 2 Digisources from your opponent, from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digivolution cards in its play, this card gains jamming. So an 11k swinging with jamming is pretty strong, but it's not that you do it for. You do it, the reason it's like a good deck, in my opinion, is because of the second effect, which is all turns your opponent's Digimon with no Digievolution cards can't attack or block. So it puts control in this deck. So this is essentially, this is your control aspect and this is your like killing aspect. There were games where, in order to kill them, I just had to sit on a Hexablaumon and just slowly grind away at them. And then there was games where I was like, oh crap, Hexablaumon, just swing for game kind of thing. So we'll go over Hexablaumon effect as well. When Digivolving, you trash 1 Digievolution card from the bottom of all your opponent's Digimon, and then you gain 1 memory for each of your opponent's Digimon with no Digievolution cards. Now, this will, see if they put one of those memory stopper things like Tentamon or Gazimon or something. You don't gain the memory. It's really upsetting. It's heartbreaking, really. Especially since it's a 5 cost to Digivolve. However, when they don't have that and they have like 6 or 7 cards with no Digisource in the field, it's very nice because you gain 2 memory. And then its next effect is for each for your turn, for each Digimon with no Digievolution cards your opponent has in play, this gains a security attack +1. So every time they've not got for every card they don't have with Digisource, you gain an extra attack. And if they call, interesting fact is, if they keep calling out things from the security like Sword Defeat, Cordramon, anything, Shademon, like this just keeps getting bigger. You just keep swinging, it just gets more and more attacks at the same swing. So that is really, really fun. Deck's fun, I enjoy it. It's actually probably one of my favourite decks at the moment. But yeah, moving on to level 5s. We play 3 Majurimon. Majurimon is so good, it makes this deck be able to do the kind of like the kind of Hexablaumon finishers kind of thing as well. So its effect is, when Digivolving, you can trash 1 Digievolution card from the top of one of your opponent's Digimon. It's always got to be the top. Make sure you don't forget that. It's really, really good against Jessamon, because being able to get rid of that pesky Saviour Hutmon, I think it's called, is just insane. And then its second effect is, once per turn when attacking, if your opponent has no Digimon with Digievolution sources cards in play, you can unsuspend this. So even if they have they have like 6 Digimon and only one of them has like 1 card in the Digisource, it can unsuspend. But this deck, that rarely ever happens unless they've got like, you've bricked hard and they're like so far ahead of you. So we play 3 of that. We play 2 Shakumon. Shakumon is just, honestly, you play this because it's insane. It's just a mini Hexablaumon essentially, in my opinion. So its effect is, your turn, it is treated as a blue Digimon, so obviously you can always Digivolve on top of it. And its second effect is, on your opponent's turn, or your opponent's Digimon with no Digievolution cards gain security attack -1. So they've got really less reason to swing with their cards, etc. So most people will just pass. And then the last 2 level 5s, I do only play 7 again. I think there was only one time where I was like, I kind of struggled to find a level 5, but by the time that I got to the level 5, I had game anyway, so it was fine. Which is 2 Wear Garurumon. So this deck, now the reason I play this instead of maybe like 3 Shakumon and then 4 of these is because there's times where you need your resources, where like you'll have, like say you'll have Hexablau in hand, but you're actually really looking for that Azulomon. Being able to, when Digivolving, just draw an extra card on top of the Digivolve, so you draw 2 for just Digivolving, you don't need to ditch anything. It's really, really good, and it actually won me 2 or 3 games because the draw saved me. And it's inheritable, which is another one which saved me, was when attacking once per turn, if you have 8 or more cards in your hand, you gain a memory. So there was a time when I was against I got hit against an ice wall, and this ended up giving me that extra memory, so I was able to swing an extra time, essentially, which was really, really good, because I was sitting on, like, I think after I swung, I was sitting on 1 memory, so then I was able to gain that extra 1 to put me to 2, which meant I got like another 2 attacks, which was really, really good. And yeah, so this is a really underrated card. I'd pick them up if you're wanting to play this deck as quickly as possible. Moving on to level 4s, we play 4 Cordramon. Cordramon is just security effect at the end of the battle. You can play it without playing its memory cost, and then on play draw 2 cards. It's really it draws you into your cards that you need. It's really, really good. I don't know why you wouldn't play 4 of that. It's just essentially, if it's in security, a free body on the board with, let's see, +2. It's essentially a +3 card in security. We love that. Moving on, we have 4 Colemon. The reason I play blockers in this deck is because this is one of those few decks that don't actually do really, really good with the blockers. I play Colemon over Grizzlymon because it is a 1-cost Digivolve. I never had a situation where I had to hard play a Colemon, so I would rather just have that 1-cost Digivolve, just for when I'm obviously Digivolving up to Hexablau or that. I want to try and make it as costless as I can. And then the last card is free Gorillamon. Gorillamon's just your basic 1-cost to Digivolve into. There's nothing else to really say about that. And that's it for the level 4s. Moving on to level 3s, we play 3 Bullockmon. The reason we play this is because it's essentially just a Gomamon, but at 4 play cost. So then when you get ultimate flared, this will stay on the board, which comes in clutch when you're in those kind of games. Moving on, we have 3 Gomamon. Gomamon is just, as I said, Bullockmon. They both have the same inheritable. When you trash a Digi-Evolution card on one of your opponent's Digimon, you gain a memory, both once per turn. So the more you have on the field, the more that they stack. It's really, really good. It's just essentially your memory gainers. We then play 3 Gizamon, and Gizamon is essentially just the thing that you put on top of your Wanyamon, or however you say it. Just to get that extra attack boost. Its effect is while your opponent has no Digimon with Digi-Evolution cards in play, against 2k. And then we play 2 of Electmon just because it's a 2-cost hard play, and times you're wanting to just hard play it and build up another stack on top of the stat that you're building up in the breeding area. So yeah, just playing 2 of that is a mandatory. You could bump it up to 3, but I like the 3-3-3-2 lineup for your level 3s, and that's your level 3 lineup. Pretty self-explanatory. And then moving on to Tamers, we play 4 of the Sora and Joe. Really, it's so good of a card. So at the start of your turn, if your opponent has a Digimon with no Digi-Evolution cards in play, you gain 2 memory. This against Bond made them want to cry, because I was consistently going up to, I would happily not do anything, you just keep playing these from hand, because I ended up always having like 8 memory at times. Like, I think there was a game where I bet against a one player, I had 4 of them up plus the Davis, and I was just constantly sitting at 10 every single time, so I was always able to get into a Hexablau, or one time I think I hard played a Hexablau just because I had to. So it's just such a really good card. And then on top of that, it's your turn. When you attack with a blue Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to trash up to 2 Digi-Evolution cards from the bottom of one of your opponent's Digimon. It's just so good. good, bro. Especially in Hexablaumon, you have to play this at 4. If you don't play this at 4, you're just playing the game wrong. And then we play 2 Davis. Davis is just your generic kind of memory setter. It sets you at 3. And on play, you get to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and add a blue and green Digimon from among them to your hand. And you put the rest at the bottom of the deck. I only really played this for the memory setter. I didn't really care about the second effect. It was just an added bonus, to be honest with you. I wouldn't bump this up anymore because I've seen it enough. Just because this deck draws quite a bit, you will always, unless they're both in security, you will always end up seeing them. Next up for your options, we play the best blue card, and the reason there's a good reason why it's getting hit to 1. 4 Ice Wall. If you don't know what Ice Wall is, you might be living under a rock. However, its effect is main. All your opponent's Digimon will get, when attacking, lose 2 memory until the end of your opponent's until the end of their next turn. So it's really, really good, especially against modern players. This is what you want to do against them. You just want to drop that one off. Just keep hitting them with the Ice Wall until you're able to set up for game, which you can usually do really quickly because they, for some reason, go wide. Don't know why, but that's what they do. And we play 3 Howling Memory Boost because being able to stop one of their Digimon from attacking or blocking comes up clutch a lot of the time. But also because this deck obviously doesn't want peak cards to have Digi-Evolution cards, then this is just why you play this. It's main, trash up to 2 cards from their Digi-Evolution sources, and then you choose something with no Digi-Evolution cards, and it can't attack or block, and it's got the delay to getting the 2 memory back, which is really, really good, and it comes in clutch. And that, my friends, is the deck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please let me know in the comments what you think, what you would change in the deck, and how you guys done with the championship. And yeah, guys, thanks very much for watching. Take care, guys, and I hope to see you in the next video. Peace.